So we're going to talk about today the 5 secrets to find freedom from your food cravings. And all of these secrets, they don't have anything to do with willpower. You're not going to go hungry with these secrets. So they are doable. And I could talk about 15 different secrets, but we're going to hone in on 5. And some of them are going to feel, oh, I know this one. And maybe I've done this before and I can do more of it. And some of these might be brand new. So make sure to make some notes. I'm going to ask you at the end of the presentation, what's one thing that you can put into action from today's presentation? I think we are flooded with so much education, especially on health and the way we eat and how to live our life to be the best life we can have. And so we need to also listen to this education and how can you make this education transformational, right? So putting just one little thing into action. And so when you're writing things down, maybe circle some things and think about your low-hanging fruit. What's something you've done before? And maybe you can be successful at that again. With my individual coaching clients, we start small because then you feel confident, like, all right, I'm drinking more water. I've done this before. I can do this. I'm doing so great. I'm patting myself on the back. And then you go to the next thing and the next thing. And then you realize that you have changed your habits. So in this masterclass, I plan to guide you on how to make that ultimate shift from struggling with these uncontrollable, unhealthy cravings to finding freedom in what you eat. So I'm going to show you how to bust these unhealthy food cravings. And when we do bust these unhealthy food cravings and we eat nutrient-dense foods, we gain natural energy quickly. So this is not about willpower and it's not about going hungry. So you are in the right place if this is you. So come into the chat and just say yes if this is if this resonates with you. So you feel like your cravings may have complete control over what you eat. Like somebody has taken over your brain and they're saying you need to eat that brownie right now. Maybe over the holidays, you've gone a little overboard. And so maybe you are snacking a little bit more on sweets. Maybe you're going a little bit more overboard because what we already ate is what we crave, right? So coming in January is a perfect time to reset your taste buds and to take action. Now, so this used to be me at about 3 o'clock every day. I would need a caffeine and I would have a sugar stack just to keep myself going, that I would feel this energy just drain out of me. So I'd have a Diet Coke and then I would usually have like a very unhealthy granola bar, but that is no longer the case. And maybe your favorite clothes feel too tight and you're inching towards the fat side of your closet. Now, this is what I used to call the side of my closet, that I had 4 sizes and I would just know, okay, I'm getting to the, oh no, I'm almost there stage, and then the other stage. So it's really nice just to have 1 to 2 sizes in the closet, and instead of having 4 completely different sizes in my closet. So yeah, so I'm seeing in the chat, everyone's like, yes, Melissa's like, me for sure. Hello, Rose, she's saying yes. Sue, yes. Sharon, yes. Jenny, yes. Ashley, yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and Kathy's saying she loves dark chocolate. Ooh, that is my biggest one too. Dari says, I crave pie and cakes. Ooh, that is good. All right. So I just want you all to hear that it is absolutely possible to have freedom from unhealthy food cravings, because I have been there. I lived a very unhealthy life. And so if I can take from having these massive cravings for pizza and for hamburgers and French fries and cakes and cookies, and to go from craving broccoli and spinach, it's absolutely possible that it can happen for you. So the more control we have over our cravings, the easier it is to make healthy choices. So a lot of you have said, I don't have control over my cravings. I hear that all the time from my health coaching clients. So we need to do something, right? We need to put a plan in action to find that control so we can make better choices and say no to that delicious chocolate cake. So I want you to all stay with me because I have a wonderful gift, and it's free for you just for showing up live with me today. So I put together 7 of my favorite delicious and cleansing recipes. So these are recipes that I've had in my past whole food cleanses. I have some of these that are coming up into my next whole foods cleanse, but these are like my chocolate cheese seed smoothie, which I had this morning, so healthy and delicious. So things like my chicken, asparagus, and sun-dried tomato saute, that was my mom's favorite meal. And it's wonderful to have for when company comes over. None of these meals have gluten or dairy or sugar. So you can feel really proud to serve these meals to your family. And these are all teenage approved. So my kids have eaten all of these and they love it. So I hope that you stay with me, and I'll give you the link that you can download those recipes today. So, and stay with me also to the end, because I'm going to be giving you a wonderful opportunity to join my 10-day Whole Foods cleanse. And right now there's a huge bonus going on. So stay with me so you can hear all about that. So you tuned in today for a reason, you signed up for a reason, and that's to make a big difference in your life and the way you eat and to take that control back. So this hour is going to be about focusing. So if you need to shut a door, tell the kids, anybody else in the house, hey, this is what I'm doing, have a notebook handy and just be focused. So often I am guilty of this myself. I'll show up to a masterclass, but I'm also doing something at the same time. But when I absolutely just focus, that's when I'm going to gain the most from it. So it's what you put into it, right? With everything is what you get out of it. So if we haven't met yet, I am Lori Kampa, and I am a nutrition health coach from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. I also have a degree in psychology. So this is my family, my fiance, Mark, and my 2 teenage daughters, Brooke and Shannon. And I teach yoga virtually and in person, and I do wellness workshops just like this in corporations and virtually. So what I really want you to know about me, though, is that I was absolutely addicted to junk food, and my cravings controlled me. I was not even aware of how much they were controlling me. And in 2012, I was in a major bicycle accident and sustained a traumatic brain injury. So after 2 years of trying to heal with the doctors, with occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, I wasn't having a lot of change. I was still getting level 10 headaches, having anxiety, depression, couldn't be around lights and sounds. And that wasn't the way that anybody should live. And when the doctor said, you're as good as you're going to get, and I thought, I can't live this way. So I worked with a health coach. And the first thing we started was taking away my Diet Coke and bagel for breakfast and adding it with a healthy green smoothie. And right away, I noticed my headache, my pain was less in my body. Not away, but it was less. But it made me curious to know, oh, does food actually change the way I feel? My emotions were getting more balanced. The more I ate nutritionally dense food, the better I felt. I was able to be out in public. I was able to go someplace and not have that anxiety or have those ups and downs of depression. So it was so profound, my healing, that I thought I cannot go back to my old career anymore. I have healed from holistic measures, reducing the stress. And now I have guided hundreds of people and seen powerful transformations. So I know it is absolutely powerful, and then it's possible for you as well. So I want you to come into the chat room again, and I just want you to feel this question, maybe even put your hands on your heart. Can you imagine what it would feel like to have freedom from your food cravings? How would it feel to have that beautiful piece of French silk pie and then an apple, and you don't even want that pie because you love yourself so much and you want to give yourself the best that you're going to choose that apple? Right? Can you imagine what it would feel like? So just come into the chat room and just say yes. Yes. Come in here. That sounds wonderful. I was just reading some of your comments. I love it. Just keep them coming. So taking control of our cravings and finding freedom in what we eat is absolutely the secret to living a healthy life. And this is without willpower or without dieting. I don't like to teach you to go on different kinds of diets, but it's about learning just to eat real food that supports you. And for myself, I eat the 80-20 rule. 80 to 90% of the time, I eat nutrient dense food, 10 to 20% of the time, I'm more flexible with what I eat, but I'm in control of what I'm eating and I have freedom in that. And I want that for you as well. So once we take control over our eating habits, all the other things in life seem to fall into place, like weight loss, reducing pain, and improved mood. So when I started eating healthy, trying to heal the pain and the emotions in my body, I had this nice side effect of also losing some weight. But the main thing is that it reduced the pain in my body, it improved my mood, and it made my life to be possible that I can work and have two flourishing businesses right now. So you deserve to live that best life. Is to really think and look into yourself with what's stopping you. It is uncomfortable. It's absolutely uncomfortable to change things. Was it easy for me? No. Is it easy for my health coaching clients? No, but it's worth it. It's worth it in the end when you find that freedom and you have that energy and you reduce that pain and you have your emotions even and nice and steady. So we're going to now get into my 5 top secrets. Maybe they're not top secret to find freedom from your food cravings. And again, it's not about willpower. Media tells us all the time that we deserve it, right? That we need to have this willpower to actually not grab that cookie. It's not about willpower at all. So the first one is probably the toughest one, and that is to face your emotional needs and to manage your emotional eating. So this topic alone, we could talk about for 90 minutes. So it's going to be a brief statement, but I want to hear in the chat, has anybody here ever eaten because you weren't hungry, but you emotionally needed to fill a need? I mean, I think I could say yes 1,000 times. So come into the chat and just say a big fat yes if that is you. So we need to learn how to feel our emotions instead of eating them, right? So we're eating to avoid or deny what's actually really going on, what is in our life. So when we can go within and really listen, you know, our body gives us messages all day long. And so when we hear the messages that we want to eat, but we're not hungry, that's our body. Our body's so smart, and it's saying to us, something's going on and you need to pay attention. And if you don't pay attention, it's going to keep happening, right? Whatever we resist is going to persist. So we need to step for a moment, stop and listen in. It's the same way when we have pain in our body. Why do we have pain in our body? What's going on? And what can I do to solve that? So what do you really need if you are stressed? So again, I have a whole 90-minute presentation just on reducing stress as well. But think about, are you caring for your emotional need in a way to heal? Or are you actually just putting a food Band-Aid on it? So we want to be able to heal what's happening within us instead of continually putting on another Band-Aid. So this is hard to say, but we need to face our stuff, and we don't need to stuff our face, right? So I coach with a little tough love, but it all does come from love. But does that make sense to you, that we need to face our stuff, right? So stress is dis-ease. So we have dis-ease in our body when we have these emotional stresses. So instead of soothing ourselves with food and sidestepping our emotions, we need to find a different way. And I want you to ask yourself, is it serving you? Is this working? Because we think in the moment, it does feel good, right? Absolutely. We get a hit of dopamine and it feels good in the moment. But what happens 10, 15, 20 minutes later? It doesn't feel so good, does it? So are you adding even more stress eating unhealthy foods when you're not actually angry? And so many people are on these yo-yo diets. And I just want you to know it's possible to not have those ups and downs and to actually go within yourself when you feel that you want to eat, but you're not hungry. So this is what I see in myself and in clients, that there is this unhealthy pattern. We avoid our feelings. We might not even be aware of our feelings. I wasn't for about 40 years. Then we eat something. We don't even mindfully think about it. We just grab what's ever available. And food is great because it's legal and it's usually right there in our house, right? But then what happens? We don't really do nice things to ourselves. We might beat ourselves up. But what I invite you to do is to try something different. So when you feel that craving, and by the way, cravings only last about 1 to 10 minutes. So if we can just feel, and maybe you don't have time, you can just go, I just need to let it be. I don't need to act. Maybe it's just letting it be. Or maybe you journal and you really get curious about what's going on. And then listen to your body. Maybe you really are hungry, but you need to listen in to see if you are. And I love when I feel that craving and I don't feel like I'm hungry, is to take a break. So for me, I love just going for a walk. It can be 5 minutes just around the block, or drinking a full glass of water, right? So see what works for you. Sometimes it's putting on a 3-minute journey song, like Don't Stop Believing, and dancing for 3 minutes. That's a nice break. It gets me out of my head. And then I can decide if I'm really hungry, what do I mindfully want to choose? Is it going to be some apple with some almond butter? But if I'm not hungry, can we sit with that discomfort and not eat? The craving will pass. And the last thing, and it's so important, so if you're multitasking, come back to me. Always be your own best friend. So when you talk to yourself, and I think every client I've had, we've had to work with loving themselves, how to be kind to yourself, to be curious, to be compassionate with what's happening. Would you talk to a friend and say, you're such a loser? No, you would never. You would say, you're doing great. Tomorrow's going to be a better day. It's okay. Let this one go on. So number 2 is get moving. So that number 1 was a huge one, right? Working through our emotional needs. Number 2 is moving our body. So you maybe have heard, and come into the chat room and let me know, have you heard this? Sitting for a prolonged period of time has been called the new smoking, because we sit so often and our bodies are not made to sit, that now we're getting increased health risks. It's not just the cravings, but it's really doing so many things. And studies are saying we can't just sit all day and then to go to the gym at night. We need to be moving throughout the day, right? So cravings for sugar, especially, or alcohol, they're typical signs that you need to get moving more. So the message that I get during the workday when I'm craving something and I'm not hungry, it's almost always for me that I need to get moving. So I love practicing yoga throughout the day, and I actually plan to do yoga at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m., those times that I frequently get those cravings. But studies are showing it's about doing any type of activity. So think about, what did you do as a kid? What brings you joy? You know, find that movement you enjoy every single day. And not only will your muscles thank you, but it's going to improve circulation. So you're going to feel less tired, right? So when you go expel some energy and you move, you're actually gaining more energy. So some ideas might be, use your phone, set a timer, mark your calendar to remind yourself to move. If you're in an office space, which many of you may not be right now, you can say, okay, every hour on the hour, you're just getting up and stretching, and your coworkers can do it too. And for 1 minute, you're just moving around. Maybe you can take walking meetings, taking the stairs, just inconvenience yourself. I'll almost always, unless it's like -20 below, park in the very first parking spot that I find. And studies show you actually get to the front door faster when you just park in the first spot. And it's those little things that really add up in the day. My favorite is my one song dance parties. So you just put on one song, it's usually 3 minutes, and you just dance your heart out. It not only has your body moving, but you're bringing joy to your life as well. So maybe you take some online yoga classes, some online fitness classes. I have some gentle yoga classes on YouTube, so check out the Lori Kampa channel. Maybe use a stand-up desk. I don't have a stand-up desk, but I have a kitchen counter, and I just bring my whole stand and everything. And sometimes I just need to stand for a while. So think about what works for you. Maybe it's stretching for 1 to 2 minutes multiple times a day. And my sister Kathy's online with me, with us right now. She can contest. I like to stretch throughout the day, and I don't care if it's in the line at Target. It's those little things that when we're just stopping, we're standing, we're sitting, how can we move our bodies just a little bit? So evidence suggests that when we follow exercise, our hormones, we have hormones that are released. And these hormones, when we move our body, they reduce our hunger. They reduce that food intake. So not only does exercise boost our self-esteem, and that's going to help improve our motivation to eat well, but it's also releasing hormones that will reduce our hunger. And again, the studies are showing it's not about, running and doing the hardest cardio. It's about light activity like yoga, walking, just moving the body throughout the day. So number 3 is stay hydrated. So number 1 was really facing our emotions. So we are not in this pattern of emotional eating. We're going to be aware and mindful. Number 2 is moving our body throughout the day. So at the end of this workshop, again, we're going to be talking about your action plan. So think about, okay, if that's going to be moving throughout the day, how would you put that in place, right? Number 3 is stay hydrated. So if you have a glass of water or tea, cheers, everybody, take a sip. This is so important, and this is one that I work on every single day. Most people are chronically dehydrated, and we often mistake thirst for hunger. So we need to stay on top of our water intake and crowd out unhealthy food cravings with water. The number one thing, again, come back to me if you're multitasking, to reduce cravings is to crowd them out with something else. So crowding out with water, and later on, we're going to talk about the other way to crowd out. We need to put something into our diet. We're adding so that we can reduce those cravings. So staying hydrated helps control those cravings. And you might be thinking, well, Lori, I don't know how much water I should be drinking. Am I drinking enough? Well, first of all, if you ever feel thirsty, you're not drinking enough. That is the first sign of dehydration, is just feeling thirsty. But a good measure of how much water you should drink per day is take your weight and then divide by 2, and then you change that number to ounces. So for example, if you are 160 pounds, that would equal 80 ounces. Now, every one of us is different, right? There's bio-individuality. Some of us live in a warmer climate. Some of us exercise more often. So think about listening to your body and your thirst to see where you need to be. For me, I need to be at about 80 to 85 ounces of water a day, which my calculations would be lower, but that's what my body is telling me. So our bodies also, again, our bodies are smart, and we naturally detox throughout the day, but especially overnight. And one thing I see a lot of people making a mistake is not drinking enough water right when they wake up. And so then we have these toxins that want to be flushed out of our body, but we need to drink extra water right away. So I like to have a glass of water on my nightstand before I go to bed. So before I even get out of bed, I drink that glass of water. So drink water in the morning, especially drink water anytime you feel hungry, like before snacks, and about 20 to 30 minutes before each meal. And if you really don't like the taste of water, if you're not drinking it regularly, you can have some fun things with it. Like here's a sparkling water with some cherries. And just start by replacing one of your unhealthy drinks. I was a Diet Coke addict. I had about 4 to 5 cans of Diet Coke a day. And this was all the way up into my 40s. I was doing this. And so when I started just, little by little making these changes, I was realizing what I was putting in my body was actually making me feel worse. So that Diet Coke was not helping my healing, but water was. So we know that we're doing something nice. So have fun with your water. I love adding things to my water. So maybe it's fresh mint or berries or cucumbers, lemons. I have a lot of essential oils. So all of those add more flavor, but you can also drink, some green tea, some herbal tea, and experiment with those different flavors. So tea counts towards your water. So if you're hydrated throughout the day, you will keep your cravings at bay, right? Doesn't that sound so nice? If you are hydrated throughout the day, you will keep your cravings at bay. Absolutely. So I want to hear from you in the comments. What is your favorite beverage? Do you love drinking water? Is it kombucha? Is it a Diet Coke? It's okay. Whatever you are is your favorite beverage, go ahead. For many of you, it might be coffee. Right? So yeah, I'm here. So yeah, Melissa's saying cheers, yay. Yeah, a lot of water. Yep, Diet Coke. Yeah, and Melissa, with Diet Coke, one thing I would much rather have you drink a regular Coke than Diet Coke because of those artificial sweeteners in that make your cravings. You're going to crave even more sweet food. And we're going to talk a little bit about that again. So yeah, a lot of water. Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. So number 4, again, this is a huge topic, just to eat real whole foods. So it's like those foods that are on the perimeter of the grocery store, right? So we need to start reading food labels. So if you're buying something in a package, we have to find that sneaky sugar because they do not have our best interest at heart. They want us to be addicted to things. So they're going to put things in there like sugar. And sugar has over 250 different names for it. Most of the time it's going to end with a word like an OSE, like fructose, right? So any item that lists any form of sugar in the first few ingredients or has more than 4 grams of sugar should be limited or not eaten. Now, the food industry is understanding that people like me are saying, read your labels. So now they're adding maybe 5 different types of sweeteners in it. So they're not going to show up as sweeteners in the first few items. So we need to be savvy and really look. I like to say, if it has more than 5 ingredients, don't even buy it. That's way too many. And we need to avoid those artificial sugars because we think, and I thought this for most of my life, that when we drink diet soda, when we drink these beverages that have these artificial sweeteners, that we're helping to lose weight, studies show we actually gain weight because they're so super sweet. Our brains, our body, it doesn't know that it's an artificial sweetener. So you're just going to keep craving sweet food. So right away, that would be the number one thing to do. And you can kick a Diet Coke habit in about 5 days. And in my Whole Foods cleanse, it's all about adding really good, nutritious, dense food in, and that's going to help curb those cravings. But about 70% of added sugar that we eat, it comes from these processed foods. And some of these foods we think are healthy, like yogurt and bread and salad dressing and peanut butter and pasta sauce. So we need to look through because all of those items I just listed, they taste really nice without sugar. And with yogurt, you can add your own honey to it, right? Then you control how much sweetness you want. But limit processed foods sold in a package. And just think about, focus on real food and think about the nutrients so that it can support you. So here's something that, again, come back to me if you are multitasking. We are craving because our body is starving. And you might think, oh no, Lori, I'm like 50 pounds overweight. I am not starving. Your body is probably starving for the vitamins and the minerals that it actually needs. So when we can focus on having 1 to 2 servings of vegetables at each meal, those are going to crowd out your cravings for unhealthy foods. Bam, like just like that, right? So we need to think about crowding out, like we talked about before, with water. And the second thing is crowding out with vegetables. So every single meal, so if you're making some scrambled eggs, add some arugula, add whatever kind of vegetable you have in the fridge, have a smoothie, something to start your day. And every single meal add some kind of vegetable. So yes, your mother was right. My mom was right. We do need to eat our veggies. And many of us on the call are moms, and we probably are saying that to our kids, but are we doing that ourselves? So vegetables in itself are so high in vitamins and minerals, and we can eat a lot of them without gaining weight. So it's really hard to eat all these vegetables all day and then want to binge on ice cream at the end of the night, right? So our body has less room for those processed, unhealthy, sugary, nutrient deficient foods, right? So once we start adding these foods to our diet, our body is going to naturally begin to crave them. Yeah, it's absolutely true. I could not believe when I started to crave healthy food. Oh, I need to get a green juice. This is what I'm craving. It's amazing. So if it can happen to me, the junk food eater for most of my life, it can absolutely happen to you. So when we fill our body with healthy, that nutrient dense foods, the cravings for the unhealthy foods are just going to lessen substantially. Now, that doesn't mean you're not ever going to eat a cupcake. Of course you are. We're going to celebrate on a birthday. We're going to have some things, but it's all in moderation, right? All right, there's my clicker. All right. So I promised you my 7 delicious cleansing recipes. So do a screenshot of this screen so that you can come back and download this freebie for you. So you can go to lorikampa.biz/free recipes. So that's LORIKAMPA.biz/free recipes, and you can download your gift. So again, there's Tuscan soup, there's an easy minestrone. Ooh, one of my girls' favorite, a curry. So many different things, and a lot of them are great for the winter months as well. So processed foods, I think we all know this. This is not a surprise. They're just rich in simple sugars, right? But they don't have any nutrients. But sugar, it is a fuel for our cells, but our cells need more. So for our cells to actually do their jobs in a nice way, it needs these vitamins and minerals. So we're craving more food because our cells are starving for these nutrients. And many people, and you might be one of them, we're actually suffering from malnutrition. And a lot of times you'll look at Americans, and a lot of people are overweight, and you think, no, they're not they don't have malnutrition. Yeah, when we really look at their diet, that's the case. So when we have foods like meat and milk and sugar, salt, even gluten, they can have extreme effects on our body. So we need to seek out less extreme, less problematic foods with healthier alternatives to satisfy us. So we absolutely make like Asian food in our house, but I'm going to make it with clean ingredients, right? We can have a lot of different alternatives that taste great, but they're not going to have these extreme effects on us. Like dairy, for example, 80% of people really can't tolerate dairy. And I didn't know how good I could feel until I took dairy out of my diet. I didn't know how good I could feel until I took gluten out of my diet. So if you don't know how your body reacts to these extreme foods, we need to do some type of test. We need to go without them and then bring them back in so you can see, yeah, my body's okay with it, or no, that does not work for me and I need to seek out alternatives. So to get out of this cycle, we need to deconstruct what you are craving, right? Seek out less extreme, healthier alternatives so that you feel satisfied. Because really, if you're not hungry and you're eating all the sugary food and you're emotional, no amount is ever going to satisfy you. So when we're looking at a snack or at a meal, I always think about this trifecta of we want fat in the meal, or the snack, we want fiber and we want protein. So I don't just want to grab an apple for a snack because that's not going to satiate me, but I want to grab an apple with a handful of almonds. So then I have the fat and the protein from the almonds and then the fiber from the apple. Then we have a nice healthy snack. So I love putting together meals that have all of those things together so you feel satisfied and then your cravings are like goodbye. So I wanted you to all jump in the comments. Does this all make sense to you? Does it make sense? Like, give me a big yes if you see how powerful it is. Like when we focus on nutrient dense foods, it absolutely crowds out our cravings. And I wish I would have known this earlier in my life. It seems so obvious and so simple. And we all have this power to do this. Yeah, I'm saying yes, 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 yes. Yeah, absolutely. I hear you. So number 5, the last one, is to have a plan. I see this over and over and over again, especially for New Year's resolutions, that people say, yeah, I'm just not going to eat sweets anymore. Oh, I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to do this. But there's not actually a specific plan in place of what you're going to do. And also with all of my clients, whether it's a business client or a health coaching client, I know everyone's going to slip, right? Everyone's going to slip. And you can decide right there. You can learn from that mistake, and you have a plan for when you hit that roadblock, then you can grow and you can actually become more emotionally attached to eating these really yummy foods, right? So maybe if you go to an office for work, you bring your snacks or you bring your lunch. Or if you're going to a restaurant, you look up the menu in advance. We are blessed that most restaurants have their menus online that we can look, and when we're not hungry, we can make a good decision. And we also need to have a plan for when we exercise. So I know, Sharon, you've talked about, oh, I just don't move enough throughout the day. And so could you put it on your calendar? So I belong to a yoga studio that I teach at, but I also do some online live classes. So in the week before, I love looking up at different classes and seeing what's all on my schedule for work and the kids' activities. And then I put in a class every single day. And it would be nice to have the same class, the 9:30 a.m. every day, but that just doesn't work in my schedule. That's the easiest way. But sometimes you just need to put it where you can do it. Some days it might be a half hour, some days it might be an hour. But make a plan, because think about when we don't do something, when we don't exercise throughout the day, when we don't move our body, how do you feel? Listen in. And how do you feel after you take a 30-minute walk, right? We know what's best for us. And the hardest part, I always say, whenever I teach a yoga class, yesterday was a very cold day in Minnesota. And I said to my senior class, you just completed the hardest part of the class. You showed up, right? Just doing it. So when we make these decisions in advance, we've already made these decisions, right? It's easier to follow the plan. I love to meal plan. I put the list on our chalkboard in the kitchen each week. So then we're not wasting food and we know exactly what we're going to be eating. So also know where to get healthy and quick meals when you didn't plan. We all have these nights, right? All of a sudden you're like, oh, there's something on the calendar that I missed. We need to run out and do something else. So maybe this is going to a nearby restaurant that you can get a quick, healthy meal. Maybe it's going to the grocery store or a salad bar, a deli counter. But so often when our plan is derailed, you might end up going to what I used to do way back when. I used to always go to like McDonald's and Hardee's and Burger King. And that doesn't need to be your default. You can decide in advance, when this happens, what am I going to do? So you don't have to question yourself in that moment. You already know. So I want to hear from all of you. What's one thing that you learned from today's class on curbing these cravings that you're going to put into action? So is it feeling your emotions, that you're going to have a journal and you're going to get curious about yourself and you're going to feel uncomfortable and go through what's really happening and eat when you are hungry, right? Are you going to make a plan for moving your body throughout the day, right? Are you going to have your water? And maybe that is, one of my clients, she came up with this idea. She put 8 rubber bands on her glass, and after each glass, they would take one off. If you're in an office, maybe it's about, okay, at 10 o'clock, you and 3 coworkers all need to be at 32 ounces of water. So at 9 a.m., you get a little, ping from your reminders. Hey, you have 1 hour left to drink your 32 ounces of water. But what do you do on the weekends then, right? We need to come up with a plan, maybe use a water app, different things like that. What is your plan for eating real food? Maybe you come up with a meal plan, you work with a health coach, maybe you work with somebody, so they tell you exactly what you need to eat, how to go about doing this, right? And that when you have those cravings, what are you going to do? Are you going to drink a glass of water? Are you going to put on a song and just dance your heart out for 3 minutes and reassess? So I want to hear what your plan is going to be. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, Dari saying, I need a schedule. Yeah, and Tracy's just asking, welcome, Tracy. She said, is there going to be a replay? Absolutely. The replay will be up by tomorrow morning. Yeah, so especially when you live alone, a lot of people do. We need to be accountable for ourselves. And yeah, and Melissa says, I really want to take some online yoga. Absolutely. So Melissa, I think we've talked about before, you can take my online gentle yoga classes on YouTube, but there's a lot of different yoga that you can do, live classes, different things like that. But we need to decide, what does that look like for you? So often we say, I'm just going to do this, but is it going to be, I'm taking this 9:30 class every day that's online, right? With Core Power, I just pay $20 a month for those live classes. So we can get something that's a little more affordable when it's online as well. Melissa says, no plan, no process, no progress, no data to make meaningful decisions or see any potential results. Absolutely. When we don't have a plan, we don't have that progress. So, exercise, Kathy's saying, it strengthens our bones, right? As we age, we need to think about our bones, but why not think about it at every age, right? Doing those weight-bearing exercises so that you know when you're 80, when you're 90, you're going to be able to still play pickleball, right? It's not about just living a long life. We want to live a healthy, long life. Dari says, I want to be like you when I grew up, Miss Lori. Oh my goodness, you are so funny. Melissa says, rotisserie chicken is my go-to every week. Yeah, that's a great one to have in the fridge. You can add it to your salads. You can pair it with the sweet potato and I mean, there's so many different things you can do that. So Sharon is saying, move more. So Sharon, I want you to also put in the chat, what does that mean to you? So are you going to be doing 3 dance parties a day? You know, are you going to be planning some exercise? And what really lights your soul on fire? What's something that you used to do that really makes you feel happy when you're moving your body, so it's easier than just going to like a workout class, right? Ashley's saying to focus on nutrient density. So Ashley, I want you to come back to the comments. What does that mean to you? So is that going to be, you know, 3 meals a day? Is that going to be 80%? Are you going to come up with a meal plan every single Sunday? What does that look like for you? Sue is saying, have a plan for food and exercise for the whole family. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun bonding to say, okay, every weekend we get to plan a big family outing. So are we going to go hiking today? Are we going to go snowshoeing? Are we going to go cross-country skiing? Are we going to build a snowman? Right? So we can not only do well for our, you know, ourselves to exercise, but we can influence our families. And so many of us are moms here, and we don't just have this influence on ourselves, right? We are the way that other people look at us. Our kids see the way we are treating ourselves. And if we're not being kind to ourselves, our kids, our spouses, our friends, our siblings, they're all going to pick up on that. So we need to also be that mentor to do that. Yeah, so Melissa's saying more fruits and veggies. Yeah, Mindy's saying, I love the rubber band idea. Yeah, so Mindy, let me know, are you going to do that? For me, for water, I make 8 boxes every day in my full focus planner, and then I check them off as I do it. Now, I'm not perfect with this, and some days I forget to do the boxes, and then I'm at the end of the day and I'm feeling thirsty. I absolutely know that I might be thinking I'm drinking enough water, but when I don't track it, I actually don't. So listen to what works for you. And with my health coaching clients, every single person is different, right? We are all unique. We have different personalities, different things work for different people. So if one thing doesn't work, then what's your next plan? So Sharon's saying dance party, yes, yeah. So what's your song? What's your next dance party going to be? What's the band? What are you going to do it to? A reminder to refresh my dance song. So I have this client that she loved the dance party so much. Her and her husband both work from home now with the pandemic. And then every 2 hours, they meet down like 9 a.m., 11, 1. And then each day they take turns who gets to plan the playlist. And they're just doing 2 to 3 minute breaks. But they both have desk jobs. And so they're connecting with each other, they're laughing, and then they go right back to work, right? So it's just a 3-minute break. So your productivity is actually going to be better when you take a break than sitting in front of your computer. So yeah, Kathy, of course, that's a perfect one for you. The dance parties ideas. Yeah, Dari said, I need to stop and breathe when I get stressed. Dari, thank you for bringing that up, because again, I could talk about reducing stress for 1 to 2 hours, but the number one thing, the fastest way to redirect your attitude and to come to a place of peace is just to breathe, right? Place your hands in your heart and just take a big inhale. Maybe hold it for a little bit, exhale through the mouth, and do that 4 to 5, 6 times, and then reassess. Our bodies don't actually know that you're faking it a little bit, right? When you start to breathe, you bring down that stress. And all of a sudden you're coming at every decision with a more calm mind. So breathing, that's the number one thing. Yeah, Melissa's saying, I need more yoga when it's too cold to walk. Yeah, absolutely. I have that same thing, that sometimes it's just too cold. Mindy's saying, I didn't know you had YouTube classes. Well, when we first started the quarantine, my senior class, I just did it online with them. So I put them up to YouTube so people could do that. So I work in early childhood, Melissa is saying, we love dance parties. Absolutely. Think about what kids do. They love moving their bodies. They don't like to sit all day. So think about what you did as a child. Sharon said, I will stand and stretch at the top of the hour. I love that. And maybe, think about sometimes, because I know Sharon's like I am, we get really focused in our work, and it might be 9:30 and you're like, I know in a half hour, I'm going to stand up and stretch. And all of a sudden it's like 10:45. So do you need a reminder every hour to get you out of that focus? Or do you feel that that would work for you? Dari says, right now I'm fast walking indoors to a 14-minute mile versus a 20-minute mile. Awesome. And it really doesn't matter how fast we want. We just want to keep doing it. So I love that, Dory. And yeah, walking indoors, there's no excuse. Ashley says, I will try to plan meals and snacks better. I will also learn about which foods are actually nutrient rich and which are junk and hiding. Oh, Ashley, I'm so glad you brought that up, because that was a huge curve for me. And I needed to have somebody that was an expert to guide me, to say, okay, you need to have these nutrient rich foods for the brain, right? You need to have the salmon, the avocados, you need to have this fish oil, right? You also need to have this fiber. So it's nice to get that education from somebody that they can just tell you, instead of getting it from 20, 30 different YouTube free videos and you're confused as could be. And so when you say plan my meals and snack better, you can even take it a little bit more detailed to say, every Sunday at 7, I'm going to come up with my plan and I'm going to look here for recipes. So Mindy says, I turn activities into gifts more myself, and then I hear more. Yeah, I love that, Mindy. Like having these, like sometimes I think of the gift of when I sign up for like a Snoga class, yoga in the snow, when I sign up for something that's a little bit on the fun side, like it's a gift. It's a gift to me. It's me taking care of myself so I can be the best person for everybody else in my life. Yeah, Kathy saying tracking water is a great idea. I can write that in my calendar. Mindy says, you don't need a tracker. You can draw a box on your calendar, every cup, of water you drink. Yeah, and some people like the app. There's so many water apps out there. So it's really what works for you. I'm seeing dance party builds so much joy. Yeah, polka dance even, yes. Mindy said, I fill a 32-ounce jar every morning with water and then refill. Food counts as water. I love that. Melissa's saying it takes 3 breaths to change your brain state. Absolutely. So think about when you feel that anxiety, when you feel that depression, when you feel that low energy, when you feel that craving and you're not hungry, just breathe. I love that. Sharon says she's going to be dancing to Can't Stop the Feeling by Justin Timberlake. Oh, I like dancing to that one too. That's a good one. Yeah, so kids love to move. Trying to get to bed 30 minutes earlier and tightening up my sleep routine so I can make better food decisions. Yeah, we could talk for hours today, but sleep is huge. Notice how you feel, how your cravings are when you don't get enough sleep. When I run my whole food cleanses, I suggest everyone have a lighter calendar and try to get to bed 15 to 30 minutes earlier. So you can notice, but you're more equipped to say, I'm okay, I don't need that. So listen to how that is. Yeah, Dari saying cupping the eyes with your hands during long hours of computer gives your eyes some energy. Yeah, and sometimes, Dari, I will even do this if I'm at like a busy restaurant, just going, rubbing your hands together, and then maybe just putting your hands over your eyes if you can go in the bathroom just for 1 minute, and it calms things down. Yeah, eating good nutrient-dense food is the best you can give yourself. Absolutely. Yeah, we teach, to teach children how to breathe. That's a great thing. We don't teach that enough. We need to teach that. So to help us move forward with our goals to achieve this success, maybe you need to reach out for additional support. I love that you all shared, and I love being able to talk with you about how to go deeper into those plans. So maybe it is working with a health coach. Maybe it's going with somebody who has a proven plan that's going to help you. So at this point of the presentation, I just have a question for you, and I want you to come into the comments. Do you feel that you can do this on your own, or would you like me to help you? Do you want me to help you find that freedom from your unhealthy food cravings? So just give me a yes in the comments if that's you. If you want to be like, I want to kick that sugar habit, I want to curb these cravings, I need your help, I need to figure that out. So yes, I'm seeing lots of yeses here, so great. So you have two options right now. And so option one would be, you do it on your own, right? And you put these plans in place, but if you tried this on your own before and you haven't been successful, you may end up being in the same place, maybe even worse next year, right? Or option two, you could just say, I am 100% committed. I'm going to crowd out my cravings with a proven plan with exact meals that are going to satiate me with guidance and an expert. So put in, do you want to do option one or do you want to do option two? So come into the chat and I want to see, people are saying, I can do this. You're such an inspiration. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So if you are choosing option two, I would love to invite you to my 10-day Whole Foods cleanse. So this is going to be a wonderful time, healthy fun, and it's a group health coaching program. It's over 3 weeks long to help you feel better, lose that weight, and have more energy. And you are not going to feel hungry because we're not giving up real food. We're going to eat nutrient-dense food. So the 10-day cleanse is from January 31st to February 9th. And the cleanse has way over 50 delicious recipes. The best thing about these recipes is that I hear over and over and over again that many families love to eat these. The kids love it, the spouses love them. And so then they end up in your rotation and you're like, all right, now I have food that tastes good, that's nutrient dense. They've been tested by a lot of people. And now I can have this every Tuesday, we're going to do this, or twice a month, we have these meals. Right? You can lose between 2 to 20 pounds. In the past, I've done 5-day whole food cleanses, and that is what I've been running for years. But with my individual clients, we've been doing 10-day whole foods cleanses, and the results are amazing. So that is why I made this big shift. So at the end, after we do our 10 days, the reason why we're together for over 3 weeks is because at day 11, we're all going to add a food group in together. And then we're going to go back to the cleanse for 2 days and we're going to discuss and say, how do you feel? Then we're going to add another food group in. We're going to add some gluten in. Then we're going back to the cleanse for 2 days. Then we're adding dairy in. Then we're going to be done with the whole program. But this way, you're actually listening to your body and you're saying what works for me and what doesn't. So we're going to have 4 live training calls. We're kicking off, week and a half, January 26th with a pre-cleanse training call. We have a group forum for support on Facebook, and I have a ton of bonus materials. And all of this is for you to kick your sugar habit. So it's basically about taking out the bad foods and putting in the good foods. That's all it is. So it's a lot easier than what you think. So I invite you to sign up for this program. This is my purpose in life, is to help people just like myself. I didn't know, I wasn't aware that I had this problem. And it was so much easier. Life is so much easier when you eat foods, when you reduce your stress, and you can live that life you've always imagined. So at the end of this program, you're going to clean up your diet and you're going to be able to focus on eating healthy and tasty foods like whole grains, lean proteins, and lots of cleansing vegetables. You're also going to be able to say, oh my gosh, after about day 5, your Diet Coke habit, your sugar habit, right? These are going to be kicked to the curb, because now you're going to start to reset your taste buds, right? What we just ate, we crave. So we're going to be able to get back on track with our eating habits in a way that's not going to feel like you're hungry, and you're not going to feel deprived either. You're going to have the freedom to choose these meals. And this program is not just about being healthy for 3 weeks of your life. This is about long-term success. So emotionally connecting to why we want to eat these healthy foods so we feel better, right? So we are feeling like ourselves. You're also going to discover this power of detoxification for weight loss, increased energy, skin issues, mental clarity, and more. I love my mom, even at age 80, whenever she would do my cleanse, people always would say, what are you doing, Betty? Your skin looks so great. She's like, I'm not doing anything. Well, I'm on this cleanse. I'm just eating really healthy food. What a difference it makes, even just after a few days, on what your skin looks like. You can lose up to 20 pounds. So I have had clients after just 10 days doing this whole with the reintroduction, lose that amount of weight. So it really depends on what you're eating beforehand, and then what you're, and the difference in those two with what the weight loss is going to be. But this is what real people have reported back to me. And the main goal is we want to keep that off. We don't want to keep losing and gaining the same exact way. Like, let's just be done with that. So what you get is you get my complete training program. So when you sign up today, you're going to get into the curriculum. You're going to be able to read that handbook right away. You're going to have over 50 recipes. Plus you're going to have all these bonus guides, like my smoothie and juice guide, my deepening your cleanse guide, how to make it last, all of these. So again, we're going to detox starting January 31st, which is in about 2 weeks. So you're going to come in and you can see all the information right away, but you also get these bonus things. So you're going to get my 4 live group calls with me, where we're going to be talking about deepening the cleanse, how to do reintroduction, how to be successful, group coaching calls. So if you're like, Lori, that cookie is staring at me and I just need to have it, then we can talk through it and we can challenge you. So we're going to be on Facebook, so I can help you, walk you through away from that brownie so you have that support. So these group live calls are so important because it helps you move forward with confidence. If you're not sure about something, you can get unstuck in a matter of minutes. And it also helps with accountability. You're like, I signed up for this program and I need help staying on track. You're not going to get lost in the crowd. My groups are not thousands of people. They're small. You and I are going to get to know each other well. And we're also going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have fun getting healthy together. So the first call is the pre-cleanse training call. Then at day 5, we're going to do a group coaching call, then reintroduction from the cleanse training call. And then the last one is what to do after we're done, how to keep going with this way of eating beyond the cleanse. And the Facebook is so much fun, and there is no judgment here. And you can ask any type of question. There is just open-minded. We can talk about your cravings. We can talk about your emotions. We can even talk about poop, right? So this is going to be the place to overcome challenges, to ask questions, and be supportive to each other. The more you comment on other people, you're going to be more committed to yourself, right? So I just want you to know, I feel 100% confident in this program. It works. So I am doing something that most small business people would not do probably, but I'm giving you a 30-day money back guarantee, knowing we will be done with this program in about 30 days. But I know that if you follow the protocols and if you find that it doesn't happen for you, then you need to send me an email within 30 days of signing up and I'll refund you the money. So there's absolutely no risk. If it doesn't work, I'm going to give you the money back. Now, I don't want someone just to sign up and then not do the program and ask for their money. I'm going to ask you, what did you do? Let's talk it through, right? If you do the protocol that's set forth, you will have amazing results. So again, you're going to get all the training, the handbook, the recipes, all the bonus guides, all the support, but you're also going to get a bonus call with me. So after your cleanse is over, we're going to have a private 30-minute health coaching session. So when you're back to your regular way of eating, what can I do to help support you and go forward with your health coaching goals? So all of this put together is a value of $795. And you're like, whoa, that's a lot of money. Don't worry, that is not what you would have to spend because it's a group program. So it's $197 for everything that you get here. So, and I am not extra special. Now, some of you might say, yes, I am, but no, I'm not. I just have figured out a proven roadmap. And so this is what I follow in my life, what I do with my health coaching clients, and everything I've learned from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition and just my own personal plan. And I am not 100% nutrient dense food. I have a very balanced life to be flexible. So I know that if I can do it, you can absolutely do it too. So this program, it has everything that you need to be successful at finding the freedom from your cravings. And this will absolutely make a huge difference in your life and in your health. So this looks like a big slide here. This is the schedule. So just showing you when the group calls are, when we're going to cleanse, how we're going to reintroduce everything. So we're going to be done. It's about 3-4 weeks of time. So if you're like, okay, what do we all get again? You get the training calls, you get meal plans, you get a daily protocol. I love putting checklists on my fridge and just going, yep, I drank my hot lemon water. Yep, this is what I did. Yep, I'm done, I'm done. The group forward, dozens of recipes, the smoothie juice guide, the shopping list, supplements guide, that's optional. If you're going out to eat, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Deepen your cleanse handbook, how to make it last. I have a whole ebook for you, lots of live calls, and even more bonuses after that. So you get all of those things and all of this virtual online community, plus all of the love and support from me. And it's just $179 or $197. But as I told you at the beginning, there's a huge introductory special going on right now. This is my first time running this as a group, the 10-day cleanse. So I have a huge discount on it just for this program for January. So you're going to get $50 off. This is an early bird, huge introductory special. So the next time I run it, it will not be this big. So if you sign up for today, you're going to get it for $147. So I don't want you to wait. So get that early bird discount. I already have people in the Facebook group. So come in and join the fun. You can get started today. And you just need to go to mindfulhealthwithlori.com/program. So it's mindfulhealthwithlori, LORI.com/program. And it will direct you what to do. So this is what my sales page looks like, and you can just sign you up right away. And you're going to save that $50, which is a huge discount. So you can fill in your details when you come in, and then you'll get right away into the members area. So in about 5 minutes, you can be reading that handbook, coming in, marking your calendar for all those important dates, and just feeling excited, maybe a little scared too, that this might be the point where your life is taking 2 different directions, right? It's your responsibility to do that. So when you come in, just start right at the beginning, and that's where you go. But some of you might be saying, okay, this all sounds good, but I've tried things before, nothing works. I need to reset my taste buds. I need to gain energy. I need to lose weight. So I just wanted to answer some questions. So we're going to be coming into some live Q&A soon. So come into, you can either ask in the chat or you can go into the Q&A, but put your questions on there and I'm going to be going live with answering your questions. So here are some common ones that I get that we'll start off with. A lot of times we'll say, well, how do I know if I need a cleanse? Well, the fact is, we kind of live in a world that has a lot of toxins, from our carpet to the air to the food we drink. It's really hard to find someone that won't need a cleanse. Some signs that you might need a detox might be you have that belly fat, especially the lower end. Maybe you have that belly bloat. Maybe your digestion is not consistent, right? So you have indigestion, you get stomach aches, maybe you have diarrhea, constipation, irregular bowel movements. If your sleep is not consistent and good, maybe you just feel like, oh, I have this lack of energy, I feel fatigued. If you're having hormonal issues like premenstrual syndrome, or your skin is breaking out, these are all signs that you may need a detox. So think about if any of those resonate with you. Yeah, and a lot of people want to ask, what are the benefits that I can expect from a cleanse? Well, you can expect a lot of good things. So the first couple of days, there might be some hard things, but I will walk you through and tell you what you need to do to get past that, right? But benefits are like increased energy. I would say that's the one almost everybody gets. They're like, holy cow, I had no idea that I could have all this energy. Better digestion. We're able to eliminate better, clearer, brighter complexion. Oh, a huge one is brain fog. So if you feel that sometimes you just don't have that clarity of mind, when we can get rid of the bad foods and put in the good, makes a huge difference. You're going to wake up and people are like, I feel rested for the first time in my life. Like sometimes people say, like, I can't believe this. Weight loss. You can discover your food sensitivities, so you know what you're going to have. An increased sex drive. You can kick your unhealthy cravings. You're also going to become less dependent on certain foods. And I love one of the main focuses is that it's going to reset your taste buds, right? So instead of craving the sweets, we're going to be craving the broccoli and the spinach. And I always think it's just another exercise of self-care for you. It's a gift for you to learn more about what works for you. So when we detox, it resets our eating habits, right? So we can reboot these eating habits, we can curb those cravings, right? For unhealthy food. We crave what we eat. So we need to stop and just say, okay, I'm going to stop this and then go forward. But when you have a plan, a meal plan, it's easier to go through it that way. Feel the freedom of craving healthy food like spinach and cucumbers and broccoli and kale. Some people have asked, I'm really busy. Will this program actually work for me? And again, we're going to be going live pretty soon. I'm going to stop the slideshow. And so just put in your questions into the chat and I will get to them. So yeah, a lot of us are super busy, right? We might not just have a full-time job. We might have kids. We might have lots of different things going on. So this program is for beginners and it's quick, it's easy, and it's going to make a huge difference. So think about that heaviness of what you're saying right now, like, oh, I'm so busy. Okay, well, maybe we need to kick the unhealthy foods so you can feel more productive in your life, right? But many participants have told me that their families have eaten the foods along or with little to no complaints. But this program is much quicker than other programs, right? You're going to find out there. And I've done a lot of the things for you. So you're going to have a lot of done for you material because I created this program to be like me at age 40. So what did I need as a busy super mom? That I would be able to achieve this. So I'm trying to make this as easy as possible so that you have results, long-lasting results. So again, it's mindfulhealthwithlori.com/program to sign up. So just to reiterate what the dates are for the Whole Foods Cleanse, we kick off on Thursday, January 27th with a pre-cleanse training call. Then we do the cleanse together and I do it with you January 31st to February 9th. So you're going to get the calendar so you know exactly what to do. And I have the group calls at 4 different times, just so I would like everyone to show up live for at least 1 or 2 of those calls. You don't need to show up for all 4. They're all going to be recorded so you can listen to it at your own time. So am I going to be available? Or are you going to sign up and there's going to be crickets? Yes, absolutely. So right away, you're going to get an automatic automated email from me, and it's going to say, hey, join the Facebook group. So you can join the 10-day Whole Foods Cleanse Facebook group where you're going to be with other people who are going to be cleansing like you. So come in here, introduce yourself, and we're going to have a lot of support, but I check it every single day. Plus, we're going to have that support on those live calls. So lots of information. So let me just go here. So to get started, it's only $147 for this entire program. So if you're ready to get started and make a change, come to mindfulhealthwithlori.com/program. And now we're going to come into some live Q&A. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen here and see some of the questions. Yeah, and if you need to run, just message me some questions. That would be fine. Yep. Yeah, Dari says, I need the community connection to energize me and to feel the emotional support of the Facebook chats. Yeah, Dari, and I am the exact same way as you. When I do things on my own, I wish I could say that I was going to be as successful, but it is so much easier when, even if it's virtually, that you feel that everyone's holding each other's hands, giving each other those virtual hugs, and you can feel that connection. We are driven for connection, and during this pandemic, it's even harder to connect. And so we can really find that joy in all being together to achieve the same goal. Yeah, Kathy's saying the recipes I've tried are easy to make, very easy to make, and so delicious. Yeah. Doing something with the community is great. Yeah, absolutely. So Sharon's asking, what are we eliminating during the cleanse? Yeah, thank you, Sharon. That is such a wonderful question. So we're going to be focusing on nutrient-dense food. So we are going to be eliminating the things that are the most problematic. So that's going to be gluten, dairy, and sugar. Those are going to be the three main ones. And then there's going to be some that are more for our digestion to help. So we're not going to have any red meat, but you can have all the other lean protein. And then some things that are problematic, like corn. Corn is really inflammatory to a lot of bodies. So we're going to be cutting out those main things, but I give you lots of different ways to substitute. So you can feel that you're getting that gluten, but you're having it with maybe some coconut flour instead, or you're having some oatmeal with blueberries, and maybe you're just adding a little bit of maple syrup, but we're not having any of that refined sugar at all. So, but we have a lot of recipes that are still going to feel, they're going to be tasty and satisfying, but you're also going to feel that difference of that nutrient-dense food. Yeah, Kathy said, sweet potatoes have become a staple in our diet. Oh, I love sweet potatoes. So I made this rainbow bowl last night, and so I roasted sweet potatoes and beets, and then we cut up some red cabbage and greens and all these vegetables and made a homemade sesame dressing, and it was so good, and I love that it's in my fridge for us to eat again today. Now, that recipe is a little bit on the complex side. You're going to get more. You're going to have some of those, but most of them are going to be easy to make because I know that you need options. So I give you a ton of recipes, more recipes than you would make during this time, because you can choose the ones that work for your schedule, and you can choose the ones that you probably would work for your family. I also just give you like, hey, here's some quick ideas. Like, this is just what I do on an everyday basis. If you're like, I don't know what to make, but I have this in the fridge, this is what you can put together. So thank you all so much. If you have any questions, please let me know. And let me just put the link on into the chat room. But again, it's Lori, or it's mindfulhealthwithlori.com/program. And you can sign up today and you can get going on that right away. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to me personally and I will get back to you. But thank you so much for really taking this hour with me. I appreciate your time and so grateful for all of you. And I really hope to see you in the cleanse. So take care, everybody. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.